Hi, this is Vara from Scrappy Mania, and today I'm going to create a drawing, and then I'm going to use my acrylic paint and maybe some markers and maybe some watercolors. I'm not sure, but what I want to do is I want to subject this paper to those wet medium. This is a paper pad that I bought at Target. It was pretty economical. It was $2.19. You get 40 sheets. It says it's for paint marker pad, heavyweight, acid free. Well, let's see how well it will stand up to the type of art that I do. It's not very heavy, but we'll see how it stands up. So I already taped it down, and one of the good thing is if you buy these little cutting mat pads at the dollar store or IKEA, actually this one is IKEA, they're excellent for your mixed media. I really like them to tape things down. Another thing that I do for mixed media is I take a craft sheet and I tape it down on cardboard, and it works pretty nice to protect my table. And as you can see, my table gets pretty bad, and this is another mat, so I just got layers of pads and acrylic, you know, sheets and things like that just to protect my surface. It doesn't always work, but that's how, you know, I got everything set up. And then I do have these little acrylic paints. I think they're still good. They're actually some of my cheap paint that I put extenders in to make sure to keep it nice and moist. So they're pretty good, I think. They'll work for what I want. Yeah, they're still workable. One thing you can use with these is that you can also use a little bit of gel, and it will also help it get it a little wetter. So what I want to do is create a nice background, a nice little muted background, so I can put my flowers. I'm gonna take my palette knife. Let's see, let me grab some of this. I'm gonna take some palette paper. Gonna bring this out, and because this is not very expensive acrylic paint, see how it kind of changes the consistency of some of the paint. So I'm gonna add a little bit of white. Let me actually get my white paint. So I'll just add a little bit of white paint, and I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow to give it a little color. And then I'm going to use my spatula and just going to put it on the paper. And I really want to put a lot of paint on this paper just to subjective to abuse to see how it behaves. You already saw me when I put the paint, and it does buckle a little bit. Look at that. So I'm letting it dry a little more, and then I'm going to do my flower here. Now it says marker, so I got my Stampin' Up! Markers out. I went ahead and stamped an image, and this is the new Prima stamp. This is Camille, and look how pretty she is. So I want to go ahead, and I already stamped her onto this paper. So I want to see how well it's going to work with markers. So I'm using Stampin' Up! Markers. These are not the alcohol markers, and maybe I should also do alcohol markers just to see. But I'm going to go ahead and color her in. I'm not doing such a great job on coloring. I just want to see if it bleeds or if it's going to be able to handle this marker. Okay, so I'm done with the coloring. Let's turn it over. Not a lot of bleed, actually. You don't see the bleed in the back. So let me go ahead and get my alcohol markers. I don't know how it's going to react with that one. Okay, and I'm going to use my Sharpies. Now, I'm not a professional artist, so that's why I don't invest in the Copics or anything like that. So I just have these, and they're good enough for me, for my flowers and for the craft that I do. I'm a crafter, not really a fine artist, so this is good enough for me. I actually prefer the alcohol markers over the Stampin' Up! Ink pigment ones because it really blends pretty nicely. So let's see how it works on the other side. So I'm not going to finish it off. There's a lot of bleeding. because I did put multiple layers of alcohol. So the alcohol ink does bleed on this paper. The regular Stampin' Up! Markers did not bleed on the paper. So, and then the paints kind of make the paper buckle a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and create my flower, and I'm going to put a little more treatments in it on this paper, and we'll see how it comes out. I'm actually using a reference photo from Paint My Photo, and just sketching in the flowers. And the photo was pretty easy to do. You know, it's not perfect. It's probably not going to even look exactly as that photo in Paint My Photo website, but it's good enough for me. And using my acrylic paints. Again, these acrylic paints are not the best quality, but they're good enough for the type of craft that I do. And I'm just putting layers and shading on the flowers. And so far the paper has withheld pretty well. It hasn't teared or disintegrated under all the wet medium that I exposing it to. And I'm really enjoying the process here. And the good thing about the reason why I got this paper is because, you know, I like to draw, and if I want to do a drawing a day, it does come a little pricey if I use a lot of my art journal or buy a lot of art journal books. With this paper at $2.19, a paper pad for $40, if it does withstand all this wet medium and watercolors and stuff, it's pretty economical for me to be able to just play around and create some kind of art without really affecting my budget. And here, now I'm just going to outline the flowers and just trying to give the flower a little more lifelike look and really making it pop out of the page. And of course, the last touch is to go over it with my new wooden stamp that I got at Michael's. Okay, let's check and see. I'm going to peel off, and carefully you peel off the tape. And as you peel off the tape, you peel it not up. Don't do up. Just go like sideways and carefully remove it like so. This one I peeled it off straight up, and that's why it broke the paper there. Okay, so let's see. I think the paper's not too bad for acrylic. Not so bad. There's a lot of layers of acrylic on here. The paper is okay with regular marker, but if you use alcohol markers, it will bleed, as you can see there, which is also alright, but there is some bleeding with alcohol markers. Not necessary with the regular pigment ink markers like the Stampin' Up! Markers. They're fine. So my verdict is that I will use this